evening. I'll bring the meeting to order. August 3rd, 2015, Saline County Planning and Zoning Commission. At this time, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as stated.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we approve the agenda for the August 3rd, 2015 meeting as printed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Item number 2, approval of the minutes of the July 6, 2015 meeting. Any comments, corrections on the minutes? If there are none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the minutes as printed here.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the July 6, 2015 meeting as printed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed unanimously. Item number 3, staff.
Evening, Commissioners. Today's application is it's a conditional use permit to renew the operation of Johnson Sand out of, basically it's section 5 and 32, different township, different range. It's Schilling in Ohio. If you go east on Schilling, it's the dead end right over the levee. 241 acres of ground, basically 2 quarter sections. Their original use permit was set to expire in 2017. They're in here a little bit early because they have a state permit that they have to renew, and they want to make sure that they're going to continue operating by the county as well. When you look at Johnson Sand, it's a little bit hard to see on this map here. You can see the sand pit operating right there. Part of it is in the floodplain. Schilling Road extends down here. And I wanted to make sure that you can see the properties that are affected. Typically, we talk in sand pits, we talk about noise, dust, things like that, but also the heavy truck traffic. Newer sand pits, we're going to end up with some kind of agreement to make sure county roads are maintained. When you look down here, this is the original Johnson Sand Pit from 1992. They had expanded out here in 2005. Levee runs down here. There's a single house right here. These lots are set up for subdivision, but nothing has been built. That's inside the city of Salina. And this one is coming up tomorrow for the City Planning Commission for housing. This property right here in red is county property that's used for a stormwater retention for the city. So the odds of that getting built on is very slim. Like I mentioned,
where's that radio control property?
On the county right here.
Okay, yeah.
They lease from the county to operate remote control airplanes.
Okay, yeah.
As we talked about, considerations for any sand pit: noise, aesthetics, dust, and heavy truck traffic. Noise you'll typically get from, and this comes surprising, obviously the mining equipment, but the backup alarms seem to be the most annoying from my experience, the most annoying sound. Also, if it's heavier material like rock or gravel, dumping that into the trucks creates a lot of noise. Sand operation, it's been there for years. We haven't had any noise complaints. The aesthetics, well, anytime you're digging a big hole in the ground, it kind of changes the character. That's already happened, so there's no changing that. The dust, it's actually kind of minimal. They drive down Schilling. There are very few people affected, as we just saw. And the heavy truck traffic, they do have an agreement with the, for the city of Salina to maintain the levee and with Saline County to take care of the road. The changes to conditions, not much is changing. You'll see some stuff lined out where originally we had asked for some annual reports on water usage and the size of the mining pit. There's nothing I'm going to do with that annual report other than to say, yes, you used some water, or no, you didn't. The state regulates all that, Department of Water and the mining part. We're taking out the time limit where it used to, the commission's old precedence was to set limits on conditional use permits for every 5 years. This was set for, I want to say it was 20 years. We're getting rid of that part. The mining operation would continue to operate until they're done. And there's one condition for topsoil for that original 1992 mining operation. That's all closed, so they no longer need to conserve topsoil for that one. One thing we always look at is a reclamation plan. They've had one on file this whole time. The approved site plan, we're not making any changes to the approved site plan. And I took some pictures if anybody's interested while I was out there. This is Schilling Road, just off of Ohio. You can see a city trail that wanders off on the right side there. Let's see where I'm at. I believe I'm looking at the levee there. You can see the concrete pad that they installed on top of the levee to protect it. This part, that's the mining equipment. That's pretty much all you're looking at, and that's from on top of the levee. And then this is the old mining operation. It's now just a lake with farm around it. And the applicant here is here for any questions. If you have anything for me, I'm happy to answer it.
Any questions for staff?
Yeah, I do, let's see, page 3, the conditions for approval. You deleted that reference to the annual report. Let's see, I'm looking up, trying to find it here on my computer.
Yeah, item 4, we're not gonna ask for an annual report anymore.
Okay, so,
Do we want to strike annual, the other two places in that paragraph?
yeah,
We should, yes.
that was my comment too. So it'd be, yeah, as Ken says, there are 2 other places where it has annual, yeah.
So we're amending condition 4 to strike the word annual from the condition. And I'm sorry, that's something I had missed when I went through this.
There is another, there was a comment from the city on number 11. I was somewhat confused.
They wanted clarification because the language is kind of vague on condition 11. The applicant will be required to participate in costs related to any upgrade of Schilling Road, including actual access over the dike. That, if you're looking at it in a lawyer's term, can mean, well, the city now controls Schilling Road and wants some money to help upgrade that. No, that was not the intent of that condition. The intent was on the initial construction of that facility. If there was any upgrade to Schilling Road, which didn't happen, we didn't need it, but they did have to pay in to upgrade the dike. They did that entirely at their cost. So for clarification, there is no other cost occurred.
So do we need to put that in somewhere so it can't be misinterpreted later?
It's in the minutes now.
Okay.
Okay.
Just leave that as printed, okay?
The part that we are concerned about, there is agreements between the city and Johnson Sand and agreements between the county and Johnson Sand. Those still take place and they'll just follow those agreements.
Okay.
Any other questions for staff? I will now open up the floor to the applicant.
Well, I'm just here to represent Johnson Sand. My name's Chris Johnson.
Thank you.
If you guys have any questions for me, feel free.
Anything as far as the conditions?
No, I mean, everything, we've been operating for the last 10 years. You know, we haven't had any complaints, and we try to keep our nose clean and be good stewards of the environment, you know, and that's basically, we don't run unnecessarily, obviously, you know, so we try to keep our production down on Saturday if we have to, or if we need to, we will, you know, but typically it's just a 5-day operation, unless there's any big, you know, highway work or anything like that we need to run some extra production, we'll run on a Saturday, you know, production-wise. But we are open till noon, so, but by noon, most of our we're out of there usually by noon. So, other than that, that's it. That's all I have to
Don't
say.
they have a special, if needed, for city or county emergencies? They're allowed to?
Yes, yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean, if there was a
Okay.
flood or something like that, if you got, emergency-wise, yeah.
Those hours are?
Trying to see if
We
it's.
talked about that years ago and something, make sure that if there's something that needed, they had the ability to open their doors to help the city or county.
I don't have it specifically here, but in the case of an emergency management would override anything that we're doing. The county has emergency procedures that they would put into place. So there's nobody that would come back and say you did something wrong. You would end up being directed by the county to help.
I know we had discussed that years ago.
Yeah, I remember
Mhm.
you-
Yeah.
that's being discussed.
So, Anything else you want to make comments about, or any of the conditions you're fine with?
No, yeah,
Everything's good?
yep, everything's good.
We sure appreciate the business you offer.
I have a,
All right.
the dredging machine, has that moved south over the years?
Yes,
It-
yeah.
It
I mean,
seems, I remember years ago when we approved this,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed the dredging machine was more to the north, and it
Correct.
was closer to the houses on the hill. So now that you've moved south, I think you're farther away from any houses, so
Yeah.
it'd be less complaints.
yeah, actually, the only houses that really corner that are the ones on the hill over there by, like Bradway, up in that
Yeah.
area that overlook there. But yeah, as we're moving, I mean, we just follow the sand deposits. But yeah, if you were to go out there now, we started at the north, and we're kind of working way south, is what we're doing.
Yeah, so you're several hundred yards south of
Yes.
where you were several
Yeah.
years ago, I
Yeah,
think.
and that doesn't mean that we won't go back up north, because there are some spots there where we could probably clean up some up north. But we try to stay in one area as long as we can, just for efficiency.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any questions for the applicant? Thank you. Okay, I will now bring it back to the commission for discussion.
Mr. Chair, in something like this, I always look at it like, since it's been operating for all these years, I always look to see if there's a reason why we should not approve it, rather than if we will approve it or not. Nothing I've heard tonight says that we should not approve this. There's been no complaints turned in. He seems to be a good neighbor to the city. And so these are the kinds that we should try to keep and help out as much as we can.
Good, point well taken. Any other comments? Item 16. We struck the date of March 16th, 2017.
Correct. If you'd like to set a date on there, we can do that. If you leave it out, then this will operate until it is out of sand, basically.
So you don't want any further dates? You're going to take care of any reviews that are needed?
Correct. If there's complaints, we
We
will
don't
check
need
the
any.
conditions, make sure it's operating properly. But without that, I don't know that they need further public hearings to renew every several years.
Yeah, I was reading that, why are we here in 2015 when it's 2017?
It was the commission's past practice to set time limits on all conditional use permits.
Okay, that was just something I noticed, so we will not put any type of date on the CUP. There will be no date whatsoever. Any other comments? Okay, with that, I will entertain a motion. I will ask for the motion to be to the affirmative. And then we will
Commissioner,
vote.
did we open this to the public?
I guess
No.
technically I did not open it to the public, I'm
Open,
sorry.
open it to the public first, please.
Public comment. It is now closed to public comment. Okay. I will now entertain a motion. I will ask for the motion to be made to the affirmative, and then that we will vote accordingly, yea or nay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that we approve CUP 15-101 with the conditions stated in the report.
Commissioners, if you can amend that to amending condition 4 to
Yeah.
strike the word annual.
Yeah, give
Yeah.
an amendment to that on number 4.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I would amend the recommendation or the proposal that we strike annual from amendment or condition 4
Okay?
in all cases.
And I'll second that.
Second. Okay, so the first item will be that we will vote on the amendment to the motion.
Correct.
All those in favor of amending the motion, striking the word annual from section 4, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. So now the motion stands as CUP 15-101 to be accepted with conditions of staff and the amendment in place. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Item 4, additional items.
You have another planning commission meeting September. I'm going to remind everybody it's Tuesday, not Monday, because of Labor Day. So please remember that one. It's going to be for the airport has applied to changes in our zoning code, basically to make sure that their language meets FAA requirements. From my quick look at it, it doesn't look like it changes any of the practice that I do. Just for your information, what we do with the airport, if it's a house or agricultural, we run the building permit through the airport to make sure it meets height limitations. I haven't seen one get rejected. If it's anything other than those, it runs through a conditional use permit. Very important to protect their airspace.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
it.
all I have for you.
With that, I'll accept a motion for adjournment.
I so move.
I'll
Second.
second it.
It's been moved and seconded, we adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.